Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jupiter Climb, and I will be commentating this SOTN match between Dragon Blitz and Diagon with the help of Talik. Hello, Talik.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So,
This is
Talik,
gonna be
what
interesting.
happened exactly in Game 1?
Oh man. So it was actually a really interesting race. Diagon took the lead, but then DB pulled ahead, and then something crazy happened. Which is that Diagon decided to go straight to the second castle and got all by red.
The
It was
Castle
very
2
back and forth.
Gambit pays off for
Yeah.
the first time this tournament.
Yeah, I'm suspecting we can see some very interesting plays in this one. Diagon, I think he was on the right track though, because he lost a little bit of time and he made one really bad 50-50 call. So he made the right choice to go right to the second castle and gamble at that point, which is
Absolutely.
kind of Diagon's forte. And we should
For
probably
those who
mention
don't
that
know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Dragonless is definitely the favorite here. He's been playing Randomizer a ton since it came out and has won multiple rando tournaments. But Diagon is at that level where he is really good at movement and general gameplay. So as long as he gets one decision over, he can beat anybody. So this can be really exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah, just to go over some of the background on these runners here, Dragon Blitz, for those who don't know, is the best Alucard player in the world, has record in every major Alucard category for Symphony of the Night, and yeah, multiple-time tournament winner, definitely the favorite to win the tournament, I think. Meanwhile, Diagon, another top player, one of the best glitchless players in the world, and I think that category in particular trains you for the skills you need for Randomizer. And yeah, definitely some really good decisions early on. I think it was a smart gamble to go to Castle 2 when he did. And I'm really curious about how match 1 is going to affect the thought process for game 2. Will DB gamble? Will Diagon do the no mix-up and do a solid route? I don't know.
It's definitely going to be tight because this is match point for Diagon. We're doing a best of 3. So Dragon Blitz, he will have to correctly predict what Diagon will potentially do so that he can take a route that's not too disadvantageous in this situation. So many things can change. It really depends on the seed. So I suppose we'll see when it starts up. Oh,
Okay, it looks like we're
who's
off.
starting? Go.
Now, the prologue here is actually pretty important. Talik, how does this affect the rest of the game?
So the prologue is important in a couple of different ways. First of all, they need to finish it as fast as possible, not because that's just what we want to do in general, but that affects your stats. So they want to kill Dracula efficiently, and because they also want to collect some extra parts, then they need to also have good movement. Then there's some RNG with it. I won't go too much into it, but there's a glitch that they're doing here. That's a minor glitch that we allow in Randomizer. That's slightly random. It looks like they got a similar roll, but Dragon Blitz comes out slightly ahead. So what this means is that Dragon Blitz will potentially have better stats, and Diagon will have 5 less HP. Additionally, they are trying to keep the cross, which gives him 5 extra mana, which is huge, because there's no other guaranteed way in the game to get extra mana for sure. On top of that, they get an extra item for gaining enough hearts before the Dracula fight, and an extra item for finishing with 0 hearts. As you can see, Dragon Blitz has 5 extra health from the start.
Now, we're playing as Alucard for the rest of the game here. That Richter section is just for the prologue. And because of the preset we're playing, which is the casual preset, items are randomized. And there are a couple things to keep in mind with that. Number 1, stats are not what you would expect. And number 2, in most situations, names are also not what you would expect. So let's say that DB picks up something that says it's a Chrysogrim. Odds are it's in a related weapon class that's probably not a Chrysogrim proper. So the only way to know for sure is to open up the menu and read the description on the items. And this is low-key one of the most important parts of the meta, I feel, minimizing your menu time. Something I noticed in Game 1, *Dragonblitz was saving a lot of time with more efficient menus compared to Diagon.
Absolutely, and same with the shop, which is another kind of interesting element in Randomizer, especially in the randomized stat categories, is that in the shop, it's very easy to waste a lot of time, so you need to be efficient and kind of fast. Looks like the first relic is going to be Form of Mist. It's actually kind of tricky. It depends from here on what the seed entails, but Form of Mist does grant them the ability to check some additional locations, but in a very, very awkward way. So we'll see what happens with that.
Just to give you some
Ooh,
examples
sword
of
drop for
combinations. Oh, a sword drop? Oh, that's a really nice jewel sword. Very lucky. Let's see if a Diagon also gets it. And did Diagon get that shield, or was it just DB?
He's about to get it. I think it's in the candle.
Oh, it's in the candle drop, gotcha. That's really important because regular backdashing is pretty quick. It's quicker than holding forward. But using the shield can save you a lot of time over the course of the run. Now this is interesting.
Yeah,
Diagon skipped that last time, and it hasn't paid off either. Seeds so far. But yeah, just to give some examples of combinations with Mist we might run into here. If they were to find Gravity Boots, Mist would unlock Flight, full flight, immediately. If, on the other hand, we don't find any relics until, let's say, Library, it's like a Jewel of Open Seed with Mist, there might be a situation where it's an awkward full Library clear with Mist only, which is pretty tough to do. I think both runners are experienced with that, but if you mess it up at all, it can cost a lot of time, so definitely some exciting possibilities here.
Yeah, even if you're very experienced with those tricks in the Library with Mist, it's always like it wrecks you mentally. So they're both hoping to get something else right now. I know it for sure.
I was watching Diagon
for having a sword. Having
a little bit of time
damage
saved for sure.
Yeah.
I know that during the last race, Diagon was mentioning that he doesn't want to see bat too early because he feels like even though he's playing well, DB's got the better bat movement, and earlier might benefit DB more. So we'll see.
Diagon has pretty good bat control as well, but it's scary.
I think maybe selling himself short a little bit. Both of these are players with excellent bat movement overall.
Yeah, I think this is the race where there won't be a landslide victory just because of speedrunning skill. It absolutely will come down to randomizer decision making. Oh, and
well, we got a Mist seed here.
Power of Mist. Right. Interesting. This can actually be. Ooh, this might be bad for Diagon because DB might do a full counterclockwise. No, clockwise. Sorry. Clear of the castle. But Diagon might opt not to because he doesn't have a weapon to kill Aurochs.
Good point.
Interesting. This might create a divergence in the route, which can be interesting for us.
When it comes to Aurochs, you can win with just spells, but that's easier said than done. Very scary fight, probably the toughest fight in the first castle. So yeah, if there's a divergence here and Diagon goes right, that could benefit Diagon, but it's probably less likely overall. I think DB and others recommend the clockwise route in most situations.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest routes for randomizer, honestly, whenever there's an early flight option.
Oh, good point from chat here. Why hasn't Diagon equipped the shield yet?
He might be nervous and not have seen it. Or forgotten.
That's always a factor.
You know, it happens. Now, let's see if it happens here. There is a hunting sword there that's something. So I guess Diagon will have to check his inventory and see if he's happy with that.
Speaking of shield dashing, *DragonBlitz is going wild. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really good at that. So they found the silver ring, and that can also have stats. That can actually be like a Bardo, for example. So you see players when they play casual or safe, any randomizer tab that has random stats, they'll kind of gauge what's the most opportune time to open their menu so that they can check what they are actually holding for their.
Interesting. So this is a real gamble opportunity long term for both players. Merman Statue opens up the holy symbol check in Caverns, which is one of the very slowest checks in the game. I wonder if our runners will either skip it or try and route it in with holy glasses later on. So something to think about going forward here. Will either player gamble on that relic?
At least when you find the Merman Statue early, you're very happy that it's not something that you'll find in the second castle to like lay on your mind.
Yeah, true. Definitely better early than late, because then you have the option of when to route it in.
So it looks like we're doing the same route for both players. Diagon, his sword is pretty weak, but we'll see. He may find something more useful here. They're also quite low level, so as you see, Dr4gonBlitz is kind of almost depleting his mana bar just going up this shaft towards Orok.
It's one of the most underrated
You'll have to
skills
wait,
in
actually.
Castlevania. It's all about MP management, really important in this game, in Aria and Dawn. So waiting here is fine, actually. This is kind of what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Best thing you can have here is a Mystic Pendant to boost MP. I don't think we've seen that yet. But any accessory can be randomized to a pendant, which can be helpful.
Oh my god, no! Dr4gonBlitz is gonna fall all the way down.
Oof.
That's gonna allow... Well, this might be the divergence we were looking for.
Yeah, we were just talking about MP management. You got to be really precise. I appreciate that Dr4gonBlitz is going for the perfect pixel on that mist climb.
Diagon is warping? What is happening?
Oh my god, the sync!
This is why I love Diagon. I love watching races when Diagon...
I mean, it makes sense, right? So DB doesn't fight all rocks because he ran out of MP. Diagon not going because of the weapon situation. So very different scenarios, but on the exact same route.
This is so good. I'm so glad I'm here. Alright. So, situation kind of evened itself out. But
Divergence.
Dr4gonBlitz is going up. Why did he say split then? Interesting. Is he gonna do the full clear?
Diagon.
And then he's gonna, if he doesn't find anything, he's gonna go back?
Diagon was flirting with Forbidden. It's too much.
Nah. I think what he's doing now might be a good idea. This is a really interesting choice by Dr4gonBlitz. You catch my idea, right? He's gonna check both of them, and then he's gonna go all the way back.
But then where do you go from the start? Maybe you warp somewhere
You have the
else?
warp, so he might go back to all rocks and just do it like he meant to in the first place.
This could end up being a really powerful save split. I think Diagon is doing something more traditional, where you just check the start and then go all the way around to library. And I think worst case scenario here for DB, best case for Diagon, is either Bat or maybe Jewel.
Yeah, Bat would be huge.
It's Cube.
Not good. I don't know.
I think you skipped this one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm sure that was tempting because sub-weapons in this game are a little bit underrated. They can be pretty good if you have a bad weapon situation, but it is pretty out of the way to keep that in a mist seed.
Yeah, I would say that the entrance location is the one where you don't want a utility relic to show up like the Cube of Zord. Because you're like, I like you, but I have to skip you. No way. Even something as powerful as Gravity Boots might be a skip in some situation at that location.
Now I wonder if DB here is planning on saving Power of Wolf check we just saw for a Caverns route. You go down to Caverns around a Merman Statue, then go up, take a peek.
Honestly, so I guess he did not do what I thought he would. Interesting. Very interesting. So he's gonna continue, and I suppose he's gonna check the clock. Ooh, I bet oh, this is a rough situation to be in. Because he's gonna have to go all the way to Doppelganger now. From our perspective, we know that Diagon is gonna be doing the same thing. But DragonBlitz must be sweating a little bit right now because of that early miscalculation with the mana. And again, that's why.
Is there any
they got
chance
the
that
cross.
Diagon goes up on a good clock cycle, you think? Or do you think he goes to the right?
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely possible because he's higher level now. He might feel much more comfortable going there. Actually, did Diagon get the sword as well? Is he using that? He's using a
No, I don't think so. I
different
think it's a
sword.
different one.
Well, it's not the... Is it the one he picked up earlier?
I think
always
he's using the one
confusing
from top of the clock room. Could be
is
wrong
it?
on that.
Alright. So it's like an Alucard with bad damage, unfortunately for him.
DB is doing these shield dashes like a man possessed. Definitely wants this W here. And I can see, I mean, it is elimination time for DB. This is the scary thing about only having a winner side to the bracket.
Alucard sword? I think when it's... I don't know. We need Diagon here. I think when you see that sprite, it's usually a good hitbox, or it might be mistaken. Regardless, it's another option for him. Because he has all the mists, he goes directly to library.
And this makes a lot of sense. The warp is not going to do anything for you right now. You can always go up later. But just committing to this means you have more options after the library checks. Alright, so will we see a divergence here from Diagon? I think it's going to depend on the clock cycle, and even then, maybe just going to the rights. Well,
13, yeah, it feels like it. Yeah, he's opting not to do it.
it's always so hard to tell your clock cycle once you do a save split. That's one of the small downsides of doing a save split like that.
Yeah, and when you start menuing, it all gets muddled up.
Okay, DB getting a crazy number of drops this seed. I'm not sure if we pointed that out. I think it's like 10 accessories to this point. That's because of the jewel sword. These are all low value jewels here. So they're going to add up. And there's our first Vlad.
That's a great Vlad to find first. It gives you strength, which amps your damage significantly. So we're going to get our first look at the shop and what items are for sale. This can be a big factor.
I'm interested in this.
He is pretty loaded with money. So.
Thank you.
13 turquoise, that's about right. Another missed relic.
That star is very useful in this situation. Library card, that's a must-buy.
There's a rune sword there, probably too expensive. Duplicator C.
Duplicator. Uh-oh.
That's back to back. We had that last seed as well.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
Now, like, what is a
They're gonna be-
duplicator?
A duplicator is a special accessory item that lets us use items infinitely. So, for example, any potion in this game, when you use it, you deplete it. But when you equip the duplicator, you can just use it forever. It doesn't decrement the count, as it were. So it's a very special item that usually it's only accessible in New Game Plus for that reason, because it's so crazy. But it's one of those really like out there items that makes this game interesting. With the duplicator, we can do crazy stuff like do combat with throwables like buffalo stars and other shuriken types. Whoops, slight miscalculation. The other thing about the duplicator is it lowers your stats significantly, including defense. So if you get slapped around a couple of times, it can get dangerous very quickly. So the duplicator also means that that one library card that DragonBlitz bought, now he can library card and get back here as much as he wants to.
And
And
Diagon
even
is
save
coming
time
up on
with
his
it.
shop right here. I'm very curious to see, you know, DB got lucky with that jewel sword drop, and that was good for the offense, right? It's also possible that Diagon won't be able to afford the duplicator immediately, which would be a huge advantage if all that money
I
was the
think that's
difference
why
maker.
he's going here first. He's going to check the path location, and that gives him a couple more location checks to maybe get a jewel of some kind to sell. Another thing that DragonBlitz is going to be looking for right now is a Mana Prism. That's going to be huge. A Mana Prism is a potion that refills all mana. And especially once they get back, that's going to be huge because it means really fast, unobstructed movement throughout the castle.
Yeah, once you have one
like,
mana prism in a duplicator situation, you've got as many as you want. And in this situation, there is one in the shop for 15k. So either a mana prism or a diamond would be worth picking up, and then they'll be able to convert that.
That's true. And the air Vlad is right here in the elevator.
Now this is probably the least useful Vlad. Maybe this or Heart. This is one that boosts luck by 10. And Castlevania is well known.
Is it luck?
Yeah, I is luck and then ring is int. If the wiki is to be believed, of course.
You're definitely correct.
I will just note, though, that in this game, unlike some other Castlevanias, luck does work correctly. That can be a difference maker. We already saw that a drop matters. Oh, Tal, you gotta trust me. I'm coming from an Aria background here. Okay, I've seen games where luck really does nothing, but here, you know, it can boost the odds a little bit. Ring of Arcana could be nice for potential library card. And at top level here, with all these runners so good, those small things can make the difference.
You're right. We too say that our luck doesn't work, but that's partly like a misconception of us not actually knowing what it's supposed to do. And now that I think about it, I have seen Rom farm Solaris So and Dawn for like 2 hours. You're right.
It can get rough.
So
okay,
DB is
going
opting now, to go through the clock tower to the keep. That's again very standard route when you have early flight. It's extremely beneficial because it gets you the keep warp, which is very important. And also another like smaller benefit is that while you're going through the clock tower, you get many opportunities at use items because all these breakable walls, all those items can only be use items. And the pool of use items is of course much smaller than the general pool of items, which is kind of a little bit of a better chance of finding a library card, a mana prism, stuff like that.
So it looks to me like Diagon had very little cash there. So no duplicator, I don't think.
That's unfortunate.
One possible divergence here is maybe Diagon goes all rocks. I don't think that's the correct play, but maybe it could happen.
It will be interesting if if holy glasses are somewhere here in the keep. Then Diagon might opt to just repeat the same strat and just go all in the second castle.
It is worth stressing. The odds of finding 3 Vlads in Castle 2 with like half the checks in Castle 1 remaining are very low. Good workout twice, though.
Yeah, the average is 3 in Castle 1. And
okay,
there
but
they are.
This might make Castle 2 more appealing. Now that you already have 3?
Let's see. Honestly, Dr4gonBlitz is mashing pretty hard, but that's also the adrenaline, knowing what happened previously.
True, yeah.
Not necessarily helpful. A funny thing, Buffalo Star shield dashing is actually slower because they have to go off screen.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Is that true for all throwables, or is that unique to Buffalo Stars?
All throwables. Because here's the thing, every hand, you can only throw 3 of that hand that you're using. That's why, in fact, the game even stops you. If you're holding throwables in both hands, you should be able to throw 6, but the game tries to only let you to throw 5. And that's how, if you've seen the fire boomerang glitch, you pause buffer 6 fire boomerangs and then turn into wolf, and the sprite, like the sprite's kind of overload.
Interesting. Okay, so the game gets confused. I was wondering how that glitch works. It's good to know.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what happens, but it is known.
Well, it looks
So
like Diagon
no
is taking
holy
the same
blast.
routes as DB here, and it's a good route. I think this is the right call. But unless Diagon makes some kind of a major divergence soon, DB's movement and item advantage is really just going to keep building up time for him.
Yeah, especially with the duplicator. It really came down to that drop of the dual sword at the very start of the game.
Yeah, and that's going to
Both
amount to
gave him
minutes of time
damage.
save.
Yeah, it both gave him damage and range at the start, and then money. But you know, randomizer. Not Diagon's still in it though. Like, there's multiple decisions that are remaining that could play a role.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Olrox. These are the last two locations that they have available, so some kind of progression is going to be here. Olrox or Sword Form.
Alright, so I'm looking ahead here as DragонBlitz makes the climb back up to Olrox. Do you know Diagon's feelings on creature route? Is that even possible?
He's done it. Diagon, I mean, he got known in the randomizer races for being the person that does the gambles, but I think creature route has been retired, basically. Even though it's the almost the ultimate gamble in second castle, it's just not very good because, and the biggest factor is that you don't get the warp for reverse Olrox for Deathling's Lair, and that's a big negative.
That's a good point. You kind of need it to be at creature for it to really pay off.
Yeah, and you have to go through the reverse clock tower, which is a nightmare, and or slow, even if you have good options.
Now, there is a world where DB was here like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So I'm curious if we're going to find some kind of great movement like that, or if it'll be something forgettable like a ring or spike breaker.
I'm smelling Jewel Open. This seems like one of those hidden safe seeds. Another thing is that, especially more recently, more and more players have been doing these half committal second castle routes. I don't think, I mean, I guess it depends on what happens. But someone might opt to go to the second castle early. Wow, another lateral. Very interesting. So it comes down to what's a sword card. So let's say, for example, this is Holy Glasses. Recently, players have been doing routes that involve going to the second castle, and especially if they have a library card, going up to a certain advantageous point in the second castle and then going back with more progression. That might happen here. I feel like DragonBlitz is not gonna do that though, because of how he got burned last time. He might just full clear.
Well, it's got to be something good up here. Jewel or Holy Glasses or something. Maybe a ring. Here we go.
Holy Glasses. Well, there we go.
Now, this is very exciting. This is probably the best case scenario, I think, for Diagon, because it opens up the seed. Now, obviously, if DD gets, you know, Ring of Lad at bat, well, then it doesn't matter. But if we see, like, Jewel, for example, there could be a save split opportunity.
The other question is, as always in Randomizer, does Diagon feel behind? Now, he might feel behind just because he's playing against DragonBlitz.
Farewell for now.
But does he feel behind enough to do something unorthodox, like, you know, finding Jewel Open and immediately going back? And oh no, is Diagon gonna? Okay, he has enough time. I was scared for a bit there.
Yeah, that was close. It's interesting, you make a great point, because in the last seed, you could see in real time that Diagon was not pleased with his route. He lost the 50-50 to start and decided, look, I'm just gonna throw it all to Castle 2. In this situation, in some ways he's more behind than last time, but it's for a very unpredictable reason. That is to say, the Jewel Sword drop into a lot of cash, into Duplicator, with a Mana Prism, maybe, but definitely a library card. So, he probably isn't factoring that in. That's not something you would typically expect from an opponent.
Absolutely. He's definitely thinking about the duplicator. That's in the back of his head for sure. But there's no way that he would assume Dragon just had a ton of money out of nowhere, which is basically what happened. So he might not feel that threatened to do that. But earlier today, Diagon said, "I'm gonna gamble." So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And you know what's interesting?
And again,
DB is actually orphaning the Power Wolf check. So far, the only player who's gambled so far, it's a small one, has actually been DragonBlitz here. That was just a cube, so it's the correct play. But you can tell that DB wants to be aggressive in this game, too.
I almost wonder if he's actually doing it or if he just forgot. Because that's a little scary. Because that's a situation where you just instantly lose. But regardless, I think that because of what, the fact that second guessing lost him the race last time, that might be the bigger reason why he's not doing it. And odds-wise, obviously, going to the second castle would be the winning move here.
Okay, so let's keep track. DB warps into Castle 2 at 28:05.
Alright, someone in chat, write it down. 28:05.
Might not matter depending on what this next check is. If it's, basically, if you're rooting for Diagon, you're hoping that next Vlad is not at Bat, or Medusa, or Mummy,
It needs
or
to be
probably
in the first castle,
Trio.
in my opinion.
I think it has to be
Diagon
first
has to
castle.
win. Yeah.
That or
Which is
it's
possible.
second castle, and DB makes a castle 1 return trip. Which could happen, he's got infinite library cards.
I don't see it. I don't see him doing it. Especially if he finds Bat, there's no way he's coming back to the first castle. With mana prisms and everything. Oh, he only has an elixir. That's slightly less good, but still. Wow, he has the same setup as last seed. That is
Alright, this could be it right here.
alright.
Now, Block and Eyes have got some interesting attack properties. If the camera scrolls, the throwable will scroll with the camera rather than where they were thrown. It's kind of unique. And these are really good because they pierce. So I don't think DB's going to have too much problem beating bosses for the next 10 or so minutes.
Yeah, they're pretty good at against the big bosses, the big bodies. Yeah, I suppose they're Vulcanize, the Iron Shield spell. There's a few of those, and the Medusa Shield spell actually. Funny enough. The movement is quite awkward in the second castle. Did Diagon opt not to get the poison cloud, the gas cloud? I'm just now realizing that.
Oh yeah, I guess not. Okay, so we've got Mist, and we've got the full Wolf set for DB, but still no Bat. It's casual, so it's truly random. Any relic can be anywhere. We could see, for example, Bat at Holy Symbol. Anything's possible.
Definitely. The only problem with Full Wolf is that it takes quite a bit of mana. As you can see, every time he connects with anything, like a candle, an enemy, it drains, is it 5 MP? Yeah, it might be 5. Which is quite a bit, considering that a single wing smash is 8. It's good movement, but to be budgeted properly.
Alright, so right now we're approaching the Mummy fight for DB. I just want to make a note of something. DB is the best Alucard player in the world. Everyone is capable of dying with the duplicator equipped. This game, I think, is often underrated in terms of its difficulty, especially in a randomizer when you don't have guaranteed good gear. And Duplicator really tanks your defenses. As you can see, for example, 37 from some random grunt. So, you know, something to keep an eye on. There are no guarantees here. And it looks like Diagon is entering Castle 2 at 3 minutes behind. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so funny you say that. The very first randomizer tournament, it was me versus DB, and both of us died in the finals to Akmadan.
Wow. Right here.
So yeah, I think we're a little bit more knowledgeable about like how stuff works in randomizer now, but it's still possible. If he command grabs you, that final atomic blaster is almost a death sentence in some situations.
But with such a
he is
good
dead.
ranged option, yeah.
Those blocker knives, no way. Such a good use of the wolf to dash through this corridor when you have the heart relic. Good idea.
The heart makes it so that you don't take any kind of damage or knockback from petrify attacks. And those tombstones. Oh, excuse me, from curse. And yeah, the tombstones are curse elements. So, pretty cool. There are some nice Castle 2 wolf strats in general.
Yeah, some of the most advanced stuff in the game is actually wolf related.
Oh, hang on. This is going to be a little awkward, right? DB actually going for some really complicated strats here. Iframe abuse to dive kick onto the spikes. I was thinking just missed. But DB wants those extra seconds here.
You can do it even without iframes, but you just have to tank a little bit of damage. It's fine. Good thing about misses, you get these checks for free. I guess DB is still a little uncomfortable about his equipment. Oh, he's actually low in mana. Let's not repeat the same thing again, please.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that
is
DB
waiting.
only wants that mana prism, and then he'll stop doing checks.
Definitely. Yeah. He would take like a bonus Buffalo Star or something like that for sure.
I will say that despite Diagon not having a duplicator, these have been some really nice boss fights, very quick. I think the sword
and
is
now
pretty
he has a
decent.
wolf. Alright. So, they do not have dual weapon, so this section is a little awkward. We'll see how exactly they tackle it. Here's an
Will either
here's a
player forget?
potential- well, yeah, they can do the me and forget that they don't have dual weapon, or this could be an avenue for Diagon to save some time by skipping Beelzebub. I don't believe that Dragon Blitz will do it, but Diagon might. Now, CV Trio, even with Duplicator and Good Iron, they can sometimes be annoying, but he got the right curve this time on his blocker knife, so he actually hit both Trevor and Grant at the same time, which is
Very clean.
best case scenario.
Okay, here we go.
Drove open, mix up.
Diagon's gonna
Alright.
get there within a few minutes. What's the call here?
Here's the, the funny thing is Diagon is playing too well. He hasn't made that many mistakes really, when you think about it. Overall, he has been dealt a bad card, but he's playing it well, so he might not feel like he needs to do this. We will see. Oh, he got grabbed by Akmanon. Please unequip or equip something.
Defense is
He
okay,
should have enough
actually.
defense. He should have enough defense.
Yeah, it's fine.
6. Alright, not too bad. Grapplers, man. Oh, DB
It's like
has
people
to
say,
become this
SOTN is a
awkward
fighting
dude.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the
Except
only
we
way
were
that
fighting
Diagon...
ourselves most of the time. And
I
our
think the only way
opponents.
that Diagon goes back to Castle 1 is if he just feels that general sense you mentioned before. Look, I'm playing against DB. I've played well, but maybe DB's played more cleanly. I gotta make some kind of a small gamble. And look, at this point, there are still a ton of checks in Castle 1. It probably is close to a 50-50 split.
There are probably more now in First Castle, but the problem is always how much time it takes to come back. So I'm trying to think back on the seed. Did Diagon really lose a major 50-50? Not really. They basically did the same route.
Yeah, the only
Almost.
big difference was, other than the drops, Diagon saved split Power of Wolf and DB skipped it.
Yeah. So in fact, Diagon has done the more standard route, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
in this race. That might be his actually intended mix-up because he did a big gamble last race, and he's
Wait
playing
a
super
minute.
safe this one.
Wait a minute.
Oh, why? What? I can't.
I think DB is playing the
Mark
odds
just
here.
goes to creature now.
Jeez.
Okay, I did not expect this. You know what? I think it might be because he didn't find that.
Farewell for now.
Alright, so how many checks do we have left in Castle 2? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we just got 5, right?
Yeah, sounds about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Big
First
problem
castle has
is,
quite a bit more.
there is an interesting scenario here that could cost DB, which is a ring deep into Castle 2 and Final Vlad at Holy Glasses. So I was expecting Diagon would be taking the gamble, but now you're kind of hoping the Diagon is feeling pretty good and just sticks with the traditional route here.
But yeah, this was exactly what I was talking about, the newer meta of going up to an advantageous position in library card.
Is Diagon going left? Oh my god!
Oh my
he's doing it!
god! Yes! I love you! I love Diagon. He's like the most entertaining racer. I swear.
Here's the thing about Diagon, right? We often talk about, are you a gambler or are you a solid player? I think the scariest kind of player is someone who's truly unpredictable. Diagon can take any kind of route, you never know. Alright, so even if Diagon loses this, he has given himself a chance. Now it's in the hands of RNG.
Wow.
He's skipping creature too!
He might do manly in this situation, manly split here. Because he does have full wolf, which is a decent-ish movement option to go up the creature, but he might just... I can't believe it. But I guess he does have a safe... he is one game ahead. So he can afford to just YOLO it one more time.
It's true.
No save split. Just go for the dense locations.
But still, I want to say I think it still takes some real courage to do this. I think a lot of players,
Absolutely.
probably myself included, be like, look, not favored against DB, but now I've got a one-game lead. Maybe I just play it solid and hope for the best. But Diagon wants to stay aggressive. In fact, both players have been very aggressive. This has been a great race so
Awesome.
far.
Yeah, absolutely. Checking inventory for something. Ooh, he has a moonstone. That's actually pretty good. Wow, he's been rocking the same sword since the start of the game.
All right, so hold your breath for every relic check. Here we go. That almost looked like the ring. Not quite.
Different type of ring. DragonBlitz is still hungry for that mana prism. And even more so for that bat, really.
Alright, so Diagon gonna
Diagon is
save.
He's doing a... like the second slot save split. Interesting. Where would you go first? Yeah, I would go up too, I feel like.
Yeah, this is definitely a judgment call. I think most people go up. I tend to prefer fighting Doppelganger. But the real advantage of doing this is that Doppelganger can be hard, and you might get something useful going to the left up here.
It feels like if it's the last one, this would be the most time game. Going all the way up. It's so funny that they're in the same place in the different castles.
Okay! No luck for Diagon. You're right, it's just flipped. You don't see route divergences like this too often.
No. Lately,
Shout out
it's
to
been,
God's Child with that Frankfurter.
Lately, the meta has been shifting towards more aggressive play. Yeah, one thing I should mention, like, we've been playing Randomizer for a few years now. He almost clipped into the side of the wall, that's fun. You can actually do that there, but it doesn't take time. Yeah, what did DB get? Nothing useful.
It was Fire Bat, I think.
Ah, I see. Ew. And when we started first playing Randomizer, both because of the way the presets worked back in the day, and just because of the variety of experience, like for example, me and DragonBlitz could really rely on just speedrunning experience and steamroll most people. Nowadays, people that have only been playing randomizer for a year or two, everyone's gotten on such a good level of gameplay and mechanical proficiency that's absolutely not something you can rely on. Just, I can wing smash so I can win. Not at all.
It's true. I've said it before.
This everything.
This is the most competitive that Castlevania, whether you're talking about speedruns or randomizers, has ever been. Very exciting time.
Definitely.
Okay, gravity boots for Diagon. Still no bat, still no ring. God.
What they have in the second castle. Oh, don't run out of mana here. Oh, yeah, good option. Good save there.
Now the choice is, does Diagon want to go ahead and do... I think at this point, Diagon, there's no chance they go Castle 1, because they got to figure that they've got to commit to their route, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, probably continue to skip Creature and just go fight Death? Yeah.
Yeah, he has that backup save. That is usually, like, I typically say that saving like that is pointless, but it actually could completely come into play in this situation. Because, DragonBlitz is still in the first castle. So he might check Death and Galamoth, and that save split might actually win him the race anyway.
Unless, another check for DB right here. Fairy Journal. This really goes to show you just how many useless relics are in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. This game is a true all-win or nothing when it comes to items and relics. Oh, is DB?
And,
oh no!
Wow.
Is DB gonna go all the way back there? Ooh, that's
DB
rough.
did just pick up a mana prism. Gotta be happy with that.
That's a big catch.
Now, I'm kind of surprised that DB is doing this check. Because, I mean, he's got to figure that Diagon did it as well. And if this was Go mode, Diagon would have finished ages ago. But maybe it's bat, maybe it's gravity boots.
That is true. It could be a good utility.
Speaking of bat.
Oh my god.
However, there are only 2 checks remaining in Castle 2, Galamoth and Creature. Now, this is nice to have bat here. It's going to speed up Castle 2 movement.
Now, do you think there's a world where Diagon has the library card and he just goes the complete opposite way? But no, there is no... At this point, it would only be like Grand Falloon stuff, which he can't get to faster at all.
Yeah. And at this point, based on what we know, with the number of checks remaining, from our eagle-eyed perspective, DB's the favorite, just statistically. These checks are higher density here, and they're going to be quicker. So Diagon needs to find either Go mode or a ring, and hope that it's Holy Glasses.
Is it 3 versus 2 right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Checks-wise? Is it 3 checks versus 2 checks right now?
3-2, you could also say 4-2 if there's a ring in Castle 1.
Oh yeah, oh I completely forgot about that.
And what is Diagon going to use for Galamoth? I guess just sticking with the sword.
Use the sword, it's just gonna take forever. Ooh, very nice momentum preservation there with the bat. Alright, well this is Oh, I can't believe he didn't find a decent weapon all this time.
Does have an attack potion.
Oh, he has some. He has Harper. Harper is good. And he has the poison. Alright. So he does have a slightly better weapon that he was using before.
And Power of Mist is nice to have here. If this fight goes badly, you can try to correct. No Power of Mist Galamoth, I tend to recommend always saving beforehand. Get really scary. Alright, so by the time that Diagon is done with this fight, DB will probably have done 2 checks. So take a look at DB's side of the race here. This is going to tell us everything we need to know.
Oh boy. The anxiety. And you know DB is sweating right now because he still doesn't have bat 46 minutes into the race. Ooh, swords. Shiny. Yeah, in this game, swords are by far and away the best weapon type.
Now, Talek, I'm curious on your thoughts here. Do you recommend with Mist going left or right first?
You know what? This might be... Oh, no, never mind. I would go left, because that's the location in the game where Full Wolf is most useful and save the most.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Diagon almost messing up the manip. But back on track here.
Nice. Sometimes Galmoth likes to, like, half lean back.
God, this fight is taking so long. There it is. But DB finds
be...
the ring!
Oh, wow.
There it is!
Wow.
So no bat go mode. That is a brutal scene. That could have gone either way. And barring a death, DB is going to have this one in the bag.
So good. Such a good race. Now, Diagon seems to want to keep the bat.
I would like to point out, for the record, just to get this kind of all official, Creature has yet to have anything relevant this entire tournament. I'm not even kidding. There's not been a single match, and this one we know, no Bat, no Vlad. What a joke. It's always skip Creature.
I mean, it only takes one.
That's true, man. It could have been this one. That would have been a hype finish. Neither runner doing Creature until the very end.
I mean, Diagon has to be suspicious that something fishy is happening. Because he did not check... Oh! Wait, what's going on? Oh, he... Oh yeah, now he's in Creature route, I guess. Interesting choice. So he's now full betting on Creature. I thought he had that second save. Maybe I was mistaken. Oh no, he's out of bounds. Eating.
Now look, DB does have infinite elixirs.
He has mana prism too. So
yeah, so I don't think there's any chance of dying, yeah.
No,
Not someone of DB's caliber.
And with, especially with stars and a duplicator. I'm pretty sure he has the warp as well, so DB is on his way to Dracula right now.
You know, that reminds me, while we're here, waiting for the end, please do give these incredible runners a follow. Fantastic race. And they're both active streamers, so check them out. You can also follow myself or Talek if you've enjoyed the commentary today.
Please follow the game on Twitch. Follow Symphony of the Night, and you're almost guaranteed to, like, every evening stumble upon some quality speedruns or randomizer race. Pretty much.
Good point, yeah. It basically is every day.
This was so good. I'm so happy. Both races were fantastic. This is going to be a big relief for *Dragonblitz. So this means that we're going to have to do a tiebreaker, but we don't have the time for it today. I suppose it's going to be up to the races when they schedule that, but I hope we get to see that as well. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, that one's going to be a must-watch. You know, will DB continue to play aggressive? Will Diagon? I think it's really up in the air.
Wasn't it?
Hopefully both racers go back and watch this VOD. I think this one is very much worth watching. Really interesting peek into two very different approaches.
Was it you versus Diagon last year where crazy stuff happened again? It might have been. It's always interesting. Diagon is a really fun racer to watch for this reason. He's proficient enough with his mechanics and gameplay where he can really gain he can like lean on gambles and end up gaining a lot of time from it. Now we see the funny thing about this skeleton. For the longest time we were wondering if that's a glitch where he like duplicates and splits in two. No, they just messed up and placed two skeletons exactly on top of each other. Dr4gonBlitz completely destroying Shaft with his double, what are they called? Block knife. Uh-oh. Are we back? So unfortunately, Diagon is about to get some bad news here.
I am very curious what that's happening. I mean, it's gonna be bad, but how bad are we talking exactly?
Oh, we have super bad.
Yeah, sorry, I disconnected for a moment there.
This should be a one cycle. There we go. That's time for Dr4gonBlitz. GG's in the chat. Very well.
Excellent time, clean, sub 53. Oh, creature just straight up has nothing. Not even a familiar. That's classic.
So defeated.
Validation.
You have been doomed ever since you lost the ability.
Well, I think we might have the runners in. It looks like Diagon's forfeiting. We have the runners in for some post-game comms.
What profit is it to a man?
Hopefully one of them is up for
Who
it.
gains the world and loses his own soul?
I'm gonna go ahead and message them.
Matthew 16:26, I believe. Tell me, what were Lisa's last words?
She said, "Do not hate humans. If you cannot live with them, then at least do them no harm."
Now, as much as I love
already
these
a
final
hard lot.
cutscenes in I Am the Wind,
She
I'm going to
also
switch to
said to
Diagon's
tell
audio so we can hear the players during the commentary here.
Oh, and we're hearing the clock tower thing. Perfect. So let's see.
Wow, some strong opposition to a post-game interview.
I guess because it's 1-1, they may want to save the interview for later.
I can see that, keep the cards close to the chest. Well, in that case, I guess we'll go ahead and sign off. Talik, it has been an absolute pleasure commentating with you. Thank you so much for letting me hop on.
And thank you. This was fantastic. I always love SOTN Randomizer races and tournaments because they're always high quality. I swear, it doesn't matter what level supposedly the players are, it's always entertaining, it's always awesome gameplay. So I definitely encourage you guys in chat to just check out some more SOTN Rando races. But yeah, that was awesome.
We will have lots more SOTN to come in the near future. We are approaching the final four of the bracket, so please stay tuned. Please remember to follow SpeedGaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 so you don't miss any of the action. And we will catch you all next time.
Peace.